Joseph Hampton. I'm here today to inform you guys on one of the most loved, controversial, and money-making organizations in the world. That organization is the NFL. The NFL makes approximately $8.1 billion per year. I feel like I'm very equipped to talk about this topic due to many reasons. One being that football is my favorite sport to watch. I feel like I'm very educated on the topic due to much research I do for many different things. Most importantly, it's due to all the fantasy football leagues I'm in. Another thing is that constantly, for about the last 5 years, I always play Madden NFL video games. Let's start with the humble beginnings of the league. The league began in the early 1900s when a group of men began playing the game we know as football today in their backyard. As about 10 to 15 years went on, that game they began playing became more popular and more people got into it. In 1922, the AFL became the first organized football league in America. The AFL had less than 10 teams in it, and not much really went on. But over the next 30 years, many changes were made and many more teams were added. In 1966, the AFL changed its name to the NFL, and it had over 25 teams at that point. In the late 60s, after the NFL began, the Packers dominated the decade. The first Super Bowl in 1967 became the Packers' first Super Bowl win. The Jets became the first AFL team to win a Super Bowl in 1969. At this point, the average player made $25,000 per year. The 1970s. The Steelers dominated the decade with 4 Super Bowl wins. Another great feat that occurred in the 70s was the Dolphins going undefeated in 1972. They went undefeated that year, winning 19 games and winning the Super Bowl. The 1980s, the 49ers won Super Bowl 16, and what's so significant about this is nearly 50% of Americans watched this Super Bowl. In 1982, which was Super Bowl 16, Diana Ross performed the first halftime show. In 1987, players went on strike due to wanting more salary due to many risks and injuries that can be caused from playing the game of football. In the early 90s, Dallas wins 3 Super Bowls in 4 years. Many consider this to be one of the greatest dynasties of all time. In 1998 and 1999, John Elway led the Broncos to back-to-back Super Bowl wins. In the early 2000s, many people say the greatest dynasty of all time began. That'll be the New England Patriots. In 2002, Tom Brady took over at quarterback due to an injury to their starter, and many say that he's the greatest quarterback of all time. Roger Goodell was named commissioner in 2006, in which he still holds that position today. In 2007, another team was destined to go undefeated until they lost the final game of the season, which was the Super Bowl, to finish the year 18-1. Now, in the 2010s, Tom Brady is still going strong, and the Patriots are still the greatest dynasty. They have won 6 Super Bowls since the start of the 2000s, and many consider them to be the greatest dynasty of all time. Most people know the NFL for many controversial reasons. That would be things like Spygate, Inflategate, and discussion about changing the helmets due to many injury risks. Most recently, people know the NFL due to the kneeling of the national anthem due to the civil rights injustices. The NFL has grew so much in the past 100 years, and most people say it's the greatest sport there is. Most people pay attention to the NFL due to the big fan bases, big stadiums, and just everything that has to do with it. The NFL is played on Monday night, Sunday night, and Thursday night. Just think, with a dream and a small group of dedicated people who believed in their cause, a league was born that today captures the excitement of the nation and the world.